Margarita was born and grew up in Davao City. When she was 5 years old, her family lived in the swampy, miry area of Bolivar, Davao City. A bit of her childhood was spent here and had an unforgettable experience. As she was fond of climbing the wooden bridge connected to their house, playful Margarita happened to fall down and sank in the mire. Then Godmother Linda saw it, and she quickly jumped to rescue Margarita, almost drowned when she pulled her out of the mire. The hardly recognized mud-covered body of Margarita was cleansed in the family's sole-owned pump, which provided water to the whole neighborhood. One day, Frank, the father of Margarita, got panicked because Nena, his pregnant Spanish-blooded wife, rushed to the hospital. This adorable mom was bleeding due to an accident that hit her belly. Unfortunately, Nena delivered a premature baby. Frank took care of Nena in the hospital. She lied flat on bed and moved not, just whispered to him, "Please bring her the two kids, Rico and Pia." Immediately, Frank left the hospital, since he also worried about the situation of the children at home. Frank was back, brought along with him Rico, the eldest son, and Pia, the eldest daughter. "Children, take responsibility for your younger siblings." Nena speaks softly. "Yes, Mama," the kids replied, then kissed and hugged their mother. The next day, Nena again requested, and this time June, the third child, and Margarita, the fourth child, to be at her bedside. Right away, Frank fetched them and brought to her. Inside the hospital room, Frank spoke to Nena. "Darling, look at our two beautiful kids, missing you so much. Tell them that you're going to be fine and be home soon." Margarita saw the dried tears on Nena's closed eyes. "Please do not leave us, my darling. We needed you most," Frank implored to Nena, and she replied no more. Margarita perceived that her mother was already dead and no longer with them forever. "Children, be good. Mama is dead," Frank said, then cried out loud. Margarita sobbed, "My mama, oh my mama, please, please don't die." After 3 days, the premature baby also died. They lamented the angel's death. The entire family of both sides of Frank and Nena mourned. Some friends and neighbors said, "Pitiful little ones, they lost their mother at such tender age." Rico was 10 years old, Pia was 8 years old, June 6 years old, Margarita 4 years old, Angel 3 years old, Alex 2 years old. The youngest, Rudy, was just started to crawl. burial was over. The grief still wrapped the entire family. As usual, in the morning, Rico and Pia were in school. The 5 kids stayed at home with Sofronio, Nena's younger brother. He assisted the maid in the household chores, cared his nephews and nieces, for he treated them like his own children. He played with them and they were comforted. Carried not emotionally and psychologically, the unobstructed Frank resumed office. He was educated old-timer department head and chief vaccinator who could speak fluent Spanish and English languages, had charisma that added much respect from the people in the city. He was a strict and principled man who stood firmly by his possession. After 8-hour office, Frank Holmes wanted to sleep as soon as he finished supper. Everybody slept early. In the deep night, a frightful thing occurred. Sounds heard like arranging chairs, tinkling of plates, forks, and spoons from the messy dining room. They could not ignore those scary sounds and got afraid. Morning came, surprised to see the wiped table and washed utensils. Within 40 days of a prayer vigil for the dead as a religious culture, family members and some relatives had seen the image of Nena at the altar. Nightly, they perceived sounds of somebody walking to and fro upstairs, for all of them stayed in the first floor of the house. The voice of Nena was listened during the daytime, which goes breezy, calling each one's name of her children. Rudy always cheered, giggled inside his crib, but nobody there, and the family lived in terror. One afternoon, Rico ordered Margarita to buy viand and bananas. She made viand into 2 balls and divided the 12 ripe bananas, but Rico got the whole share of 1 ball viand. The other 1 ball viand was divided for the 6 kids. Rico got 6 bananas and the other 6 bananas went to the 6 siblings. The indignant Margarita told Rico to distribute food equally. Rico selfishly disagreed and Margarita demanded the same share as he. The outcome, food fairly apportioned. Summertime came. Frank went to his hometown, Caraga, Davao Oriental, with the 7 offspring. They boarded a vessel with the capacity of more or less 30 people, passed along the Philippine Deep, part of the Pacific Ocean, sailed on under fair weather with cloudless days and clear blue skies. Skin touched by the cool breeze and the quiet starry nights, yet combat hardships as the boat swayed too much because of its small size which surmounted the mighty ocean. Frank compassionately stared at his dear babies with high fever, vomiting, crying in discomforts, no appetite to eat, which looked pale and malnourished. Unsteady days and nights ceased. At last, they reached the hometown of Frank after 5 days of sea journey. What a stunning scene of rock formation! It laid the foundation of the plateau. Their feet touched the pearly seashore, stepped on the land-formed stair, climbed up to the flat top. With immovable sight, the children, which were strangers with this unusual place, remained silent. Relatives welcomed them, and happiness felt as shown on their smiling faces. Tears of joy dropped when they saw the lovely children of Frank, wished of Nena to be with them. Walk 10 kilometers. They passed rivers, waterfalls, farmland, woods, and nature all around. Finally, arrived at the naive house of Victoria, the youngest sister of Frank. There stayed for the children to habituate. The household had no sufficient food stored, spared a few sacks of stuck delicious, fragrant rice harvested from the slope of the mountain and to be polished in a primitive way. Usually, the family had breakfast of boiled sweet potatoes and dark coffee. They took rice, steamed lobsters, cherry tomatoes sprinkled with salt for lunch. Rice, mixed vegetables, and fried fish were their evening meal. Victoria and the children got drinking water from the hilltop spring. It streamed down to the different directions like mini waterfalls. This source of potable water was hidden in the woods, which magnetic beauty is also a family resort. Early morning, from the high plateau, Frank and kids went down to the seashore. When reached the milky sand, they gathered withered little talisay fruits scattered around the beach. Frank opened it with a bolo and got the tiny food inside, whilst watched God's great art. Expend time with nature, intrigued by the tweet of the wild birds, marvel at the very vast rocks, seduced by the virgin forest, revived by the unending greenery and of the endless coconut trees, refreshed by the sweet-smelling breeze, sway in the sound of the sea waves, and amused by the breathtaking views. This gave them consolation where death once brought grief. Frank updated the tract of land the family owned, which Nena bought before she died. Also, the land inherited from his parents and grandparents. But Frank abandoned these properties eventually for not interested in land or vast property.